Welcome back guys, it's me again, SAPdude. In this video I'm going to show you a new cool thing in SAP Plant Maintenance. It's basically a new maintenance model called phase-based, which consists of 9 phases. We will now switch to a quick material which I prepared for this purpose, but before that, one very important remark. This thing is available from SAP S/4HANA 2021 onwards. You won't see it in the older versions of S4. And yeah, it's in more than 90% supported by cool Fiori applications. But let's leave it here and see some slides. Phase-based maintenance, the name comes from its structure. It's made of 9 phases. We start with the initiation phase. Imagine you are a machine operator in a factory, your machine got damaged and you want to let the maintenance department know what's going on. This is basically your time. You initiate the reactive maintenance process, right? And then we have second phase, screening. Here a gatekeeper, supervisor or a maintenance planner monitors all the requests reported by employees. They will see your request as well and they can decide whether it's relevant so they can accept it or they can reject or ask for more details. On the other hand, you can monitor status of all your requests, again with proper Fiori application. Then we have planning. Here a maintenance planner kicks in and plans all the work. Such work can be approved manually or automatically. This is another phase. Approval can be given by a maintenance manager or other authorized person. And then we have preparation phase. Here we gather all the necessary spare parts, external services, and so on. Once we have it all, we schedule the work and go to execution phase. In execution phase, it's time for your technicians to do the work, physically I mean. So they go to the machine, they repair it, they can touch SAP and mark the selected tasks that they started the work. Then it's time for post-execution phase. Here your technicians confirm the work in the system, again with new cool Fiori apps which you will see in this video. They can also perform the goods issue, read measurements and other things. Basically, cool stuff is happening here. Maintenance planner can monitor all these things in the system as well. We end the process with closure or completion phase. Here the maintenance planner checks all the things in the order, the cost, the material used, and so on, and the work order can be technically closed. Then order settlement is performed and that's the end of the story. That was reactive maintenance, which is delivered in SAP Best Practice 4HH. If you follow the channel, I'm sure you know other maintenance types as well. How about preventive maintenance? This one is also supported by this phase-based model. Of course, here we don't start with maintenance notification because preventive maintenance is something that is planned, but basically we start with work orders. For example, once per week we want to check the machine, replace some minor spare parts, and that's all. Of course, if in your company you use notifications for this purpose, no worries, you can alternatively start with them as well. The rest of the process is pretty much the same, so we won't go by each of the phases again. It's definitely enough when it comes to slides. Let's jump into SAP. Here we go. At the bottom of the screen, you will see in which phase we are currently in. You will also see the actual user persona. This will help you to understand who is doing what and when. Okay, let's fire it up. If you follow the channel already, you will remember my other plant maintenance related videos. In one of them, I was talking about an air compressor which got damaged and we couldn't paint a car of our client. So we created a notification and so on. If you haven't seen it yet, click the message on the screen or check it out later. We will use the same example in this video. We start with the initiation phase. As a technician or just an employee, I want to use a tablet and inform the maintenance department about the malfunction. Therefore, I'm going to use Fiori Launchpad and launch the Fiori app called Create Maintenance Request. I got to select the asset. I can use the barcode scanner here. In my case, it's switch off. I can enter the code manually here, or I just can press cancel and use the description of the asset to find it. In my case, it was a compressor, so let's try to find it. Compressor. I have only one, so it's an easy search. I can select it. You may remember the compressor got damaged, it doesn't work anymore, so the breakdown indicator is relevant for us. We also have the information how many other notifications are currently for this asset in the system. I'm talking about the open notifications, of course. All right. So you might avoid that way creating duplicates. Yeah. In our case, let's continue. Description. Here I have to enter the meaningful text. In my case, it will be a compressor stopped working. As a long text, you can define a template in your company this is something that is like a best practice from SAP. We have 3 different questions or subjects here. Please describe the problem. When did the problem start? What did you do after identifying the problem? I will leave it, but of course it can be beneficial for us, for our company. Priority. I can select the priority from the drop-down list, but I prefer to use the assessment, which is also another cool thing in this Fiori application. Just for your information, all these things that you see here in this window, they come from the backend system, from configuration. Yeah? If you want to know how to configure it and where exactly is this information stored, check out the description of the video and you will find my article there. Okay, from consequence perspective for people, it's minor injury and the likelihood is less than 12 months. So we see the priority is calculated as low. I can go to asset financial risk and here I can assess the consequence for this one is slight damage and say also likely to occur. Let's click assess and we see the priority is low. Great. Here we have other things. Who created it, it's by default, we cannot change it, but who reported, we can change it to another person if that happened. Attachments, I can upload photos or other documents of this relevant for this request. In my case, I will just submit the request. The notification has been saved, and what you will see right now is that we got directed to another Fiori application. It's called My Maintenance Requests. So basically, here again, as an employee or technician or other person, you can monitor your requests that you created in SAP. Yeah? In our case, right now, as I submitted a new one, we have only one, a compressor stopped working. Yeah? But in the future, in next phases, you will see what are the next steps basically. And as an employee, you can monitor every time the status of your requests. Yeah. So let's stop here and move to another phase. It's time for screening. As you see, Fiori Launchpad has changed a bit. I mean, it's bigger because we are using a desktop version now of the browser. And yeah, as a maintenance planner, one of our duties is to monitor not only the ongoing and planned maintenance work, but also requests, notifications from your crew or from machines via different interfaces. In our scenario, we're going to check the new requests and decide whether we move them further or reject. Alright, so it's time to launch the Screen Maintenance Request application. And we see there is a new request from a guy called SAPdude. Okay, he says there is a problem with a compressor, so let's go inside. We also have information about open requests and already open orders for this asset. All right, here we have details. Where is the asset located? Okay, so I can go down. Here we see the structure of the asset. All right, more information. Okay, we see the criticality, the priority. Here we see that it's a breakdown. So now we have to decide whether we accept it, reject, or we require some more action from the guy. For instance, I can click it and put the notification on hold and request from the employee that we need more details, for example. Yeah. In our case right now, I will just accept it. From now on, this notification is released, approved, and can be processed further. Before I switch to another phase, let's quickly switch to our employee one more time. Anytime I can access the following application, my maintenance requests. As you see, my maintenance request is not there anymore. It was in Submitted tab, and right now I can find it in Accepted tab. It means the supervisor or the maintenance planner accepted it and it's moved to another phase. Okay, let's continue the process. It's time to plan the work. As a maintenance planner, I have to decide what tasks should be performed by our people, if we need to order some external services, and what spare parts should be used and of course ordered if we don't have them on stock. We will start from the notification overview. For this, I will use the application Find Maintenance Notification. Here I see all the notifications in the system. By default, I see the ones which are in process and which are outstanding. So I won't change this selection. I also, for my purpose, I selected a compressor. That's why I see only this one, this notification. What I will do, I will select this one, and I have many choices. First of all, I can assign an order. If I click it, I can find already created maintenance order and assign it to the notification, or we can assign the notification to the order that way. Then we have create orders. This one we will use in a second. Also, we have other things. Show details will just show us more things. We can also set or unset status of this notification. We can put it as complete, set deletion flag. We won't use it in our scenario. We are going to plan the work. That's why we will create a new order from scratch, and I will use this option, create orders. Now I have to select the maintenance order type. For phase-based maintenance, best practices of SAP provide such order type like YA01. Let me find it. This one. This one is for reactive maintenance. So I will use it right now. Why it's so important? Because the other types, let's say PM01 for example, they are not configured for this new approach. So have it in mind. Anyway, if you select PM01, you would receive an error that the phase-based model is not configured, or you will just not see the order in the next Fiori apps which are in the process. So let me just create the order. We have a small message that the order has been created. What we can do from this view, we just jump to this details of the notification. Of course, there are many other ways. We can ever open other application. I will do it that way. And here you see maintenance order, so I will click it and I will just go to the change maintenance order. I will enter the description, fix the A compressor. I could enter long text here, like more details about this work. This is on the header level, so I won't use it. Let's go to next tabs, location data. This one is fine. Organizational data. This is as it is, and nothing to be changed. Operation data. Here we will define the tasks. First of all, I will change this view. So this is another thing that is new. Let's say in Fiori, we will use internal. So you see the layout has changed a bit, and it's internal means the work that will be done by our crew. In my case, by mechanics. So we have PM01 control key, and we will define maybe 3 tasks for them. So the first task will be maybe repair the A compressor, and replace spare parts, SP. Yeah. Okay, in the second one I can press enter, so the other things will be copied and pasted automatically, and let's call it do the test or testing maybe. Test the repair. All right, let's leave it as this right now. All right, now I will plan the work. So for the repair and changing the spare parts, replacing the spare parts, maybe 55 minutes, well, is enough. And for the test, maximum 10 minutes. Of course, this is planned work, so actual work may be higher than this one. It's not a problem. All right. Now, what we can do as a planner, we can also assign this work to specific people. So in my case, in Mechanic, if I click this help button, search box, I see only myself, SAPdude here. Yeah. In your case, we have to create many personal numbers assigned to the work center mechanic. In my case, it's just one guy. So the first task I will assign to myself, and the second task I won't assign to anyone, because I want to show you something in the next phases. What's important here, there's a column called stage. I will move it maybe here. Okay. And here is something that it's also new in S4. Basically, you have 3 stages: preliminary, main, and post. So, for example, this one, repair the A compressor and replace the spare parts, is the main one. Yeah, a test repair is a post task. What does it mean? It means like for post and for preliminary, we define tasks that are not the ones that are not the main. It's hard to explain. I hope you get it. It's not mandatory. As default, we have the main stage selected, but of course, if you use this feature, you can use that selection criteria in Fiori applications. Yeah, that's something that I wanted to mention. All right. We will also plan some spare parts. So I selected the first operation, and I will go to the tab materials here. We have 2 options. We can find the material by a text here, but I won't do it that way. For this A compressor, I have a BOM created. You may remember it from my other videos where I discuss BOMs for this A compressor. So I will use the button select from structure list. Once clicked, we have this small window, and we can go even deeper, and you see we have some materials here. First of all, we have a compressor gasket, valve plate to head. All right, so let's say we will replace the A filter and the O-ring. By default, the pieces are originate from the BOM. Let's keep it as it is, and storage location, in my case, it's SP01. I pressed enter. Okay. So here we plan the materials that are stock managed. Yeah? Just for our test and just for this planning, I will also enter a material which is not stock managed. So non-stock item. What does it mean? It means that once I enter the details, the purchase requisition will be created automatically for this one once I release the order. So I enter this material, press enter, and we have to enter more details. All right. So we have a gasket which is non-stock, and basically once we save it or release the order, it will trigger PR, purchase requisition, for this one. Okay. We have other tabs. For our case, for this work, we don't need anything else. That's fine. So I will save the order. Next phase, approval phase. If we configure it that way, that a manual approval is required, this work order will now be sent to respective managers. Maybe you know SAP workflow, yeah? It can be triggered here, and these people will receive an item for approval. In our case, it happens automatically. The approval is set on the fly. If you want to keep it as a manual setting, check out the description where you will find my articles about phase-based model. I will just show you the Fiori app, which is used for this stage. So we have the My Inbox app, and here I can see, right now I don't see it, but I could see the tasks, the items that I have to approve as a maintenance manager. Yeah, so it could be this order that I have to check the costs of the planned work, and I can reject or approve the item. Yeah, in our case, approval happened automatically. Now we switch to preparation phase. Here as a maintenance planner, we can monitor the availability of resources which we planned for the work. It means components, stock and non-stock, people and external services. And for this we have a new cool Fiori app called Maintenance Backlog Overview. But before I launch it, we have to do something. Again, it's a new concept from SAP. We will use so-called buckets. In other words, we define a quasi-container for specific dates and specific asset or number of assets, and then we can monitor status of all relevant work resources for these assets for the selected dates. Yeah, I know it may be not so clear for you right now. I explained it to my client last time and he was like, but what these buckets are actually for? So it's better to show it in the system. For this purpose, I launched the Manage Maintenance Planning buckets. Here we have to define the bucket first, so we will use the button create. For this purpose, for this A compressor, let's call it maybe maintenance of paint area assets. Actually, it can be a description and a label. It can be maybe TX like 01. This is the number of this is the plant number, TX01 paint. Let's do it like this. Here we have to select the type of the bucket, operational maintenance or event-based maintenance. Operational maintenance, it means that this bucket will recur every, for instance, week. Yeah, well, as we see here. In my case, I will change it to event-based maintenance. So in what does it mean? For example, if you have revisions, shutdown maintenance, yeah, in your plant, it means like, I don't know, 1 week. For 1 week, your plant is there's a shutdown, and you have a revision. So you do all the maintenance work during the stoppage of the machines. So let's do it like this: event-based maintenance, planning plan TX01, enter. And here I will select the duration of 7 days, and start and time will be in March. Okay, 1st of March, maybe 14 days. Such shutdown won't exist in real life, I guess, 40 days of stoppage, but let's keep it. Maintenance plan TX01. We can define more entries here, and the bucket will then retrieve all the assets from this criteria, but here I will limit this selection only to my compressor. So I will try to type in compressor. Exactly, I select it. So the bucket is only relevant for this technical object. Event planning, let's create it. I could create a revision here. I will click create, and it's done. All right. Now from this view, I can go to Manage Backlog. It's also accessible from a separate Fiori application called Maintenance Backlog Overview. I will click it here. And here we have an overview of all the maintenance work that is planned for the specific start and end date. Yeah. So we have only one order, fix the A compressor, and you see many things here. We have also other tabs. First of all, let's focus on the orders tab. In our case, only one order, but you see something like, for example, status. So the first status is schedule compliance. So green means the schedule end date is earlier than final date, so it's totally fine. The second indicator shows us the availability of components. So it means that all the components that are stock managed are available currently in the warehouse in the system. Yeah, so that's a good sign. Also, we have a third indicator when it comes to readiness. Not ready for scheduling. The date is start of 1st of March. So what I can do, I will change the scheduling later. But now I want to show you the other tabs. Stock components. Here we have the O-rings and the A compressor on all the pieces here. Once they are the goods issue happened, we will also have the update here. So another thing, we can come back to this backlog overview during the execution of work. So that's also a good thing. Non-stack components, you may remember one component, the gasket, which I decided to procure. And we can also have some kind of milestones here. So we can track what is the current status of the purchase requisition and purchase order. Yeah, we have it here. Currently I don't have it configured, so again, check out the description of the video where you will find my other resources. Once you have it set up, you can track non-stop components. All right, services, we don't have any external work here, but once we have it, you will see it here. Resources, this is basically the number of people, crew, which is required to perform the task. So in our case, we have two tasks: test the repair and repair the A compressor and replace spare parts. And we see for this one basically group of mechanics, and we see the planned work is like this. It's converted to hours, and actual work is 0 because there are no confirmations yet in the system. That's something that we will do in a second. But before we do it, we won't wait till 1st of March. I can select the order and, for example, change the scheduling. So we will switch it 1 week earlier or even more. Okay, today is 21st of Feb, so I will select it, and the end date, let's select maybe 24th. So it means that we change the basic date and time. We see some errors because first of all the bucket was for March. Yeah, we see it here. That's why the order disappeared. So what I will do, I will go back and edit the bucket, and basically I will change the revision date to Feb 21st, duration maybe 4 days. Press enter. The date is 25th. I can save it. And now once I go back to backlog one more time, we see it here. Scheduled start end date. Okay, we are good here. So this phase is finished. And we switch to another phase. This one is called scheduling. So actually we already scheduled the work because we changed the dates. But I will show you how you can do that. So you enter the application find maintenance order, this one. We will launch the selection, and basically here we see all the orders that we have. I have the A compressor order here, and again I can change the scheduling if I want to. I won't do that. Let's keep it as it is. So this is the scheduling phase. For this work order, we have 2 tasks in the system, right? But it doesn't mean the technicians already see them. To let this happen, you have to dispatch the operations. So we will click this button. But once more remark from my side. Once we press the dispatch operations, it's not relevant. It's not specific for selected operations. It works for the whole order. So imagine you have many tasks in the work order. All of them will be dispatched. If you need dispatching per operation, you have to use RSH. It's a resource scheduling tool from SAP, but it requires some additional licensing. Just small remark from my side. In our case, we will just dispatch the operation right now. The order has been changed, the status has been changed to, you see the next subphase. Great. So right now we can switch to another phase. Execution phase. Here, as a technician, mechanic, we perform the job physically and then we confirm it in the system. For this purpose, we use the application called Perform Maintenance Jobs. But before I launch it, take a look at the number. It tells us how many outstanding tasks are now open and waiting for our confirmation. By our tasks, I mean assigned directly to our personal number. So let me launch it right now. And here we see repair the A compressor, replace spare parts task, coming from the order which you see here. It's assigned directly to me. We see done SAPdude here, all right. And before I do anything with this, one more thing, because you remember we had two tasks in the order. So what I will do, I'm going to switch this view to mine and to be assigned in my team. This kind of selection allows us to display everything which is assigned to our group of people, to our work center, if we talk in SAP language. And we see the test, the repair is not assigned to anyone. And now as a technician, as a mechanic, I decide to take this job as well. So what I will do, I will just select it and I click Assign to me. And immediately we see the change, it's now assigned to me. Alright, let's open the first task, which we see here. I click the details and I have many options here. I have full information about the order. I can even show the barcode of the order. It will be really beneficial if we have, for instance, warehouse next to us. We go to the warehouse, show the barcode, and they issue the spare parts for us, for instance. Alright, what we will do, I can go through the details. We will also see the components, for instance, here, which we planned in the previous section as a maintenance planner. I will mark this work as done. So I click it and it's automatically reflected in the backend system. So the maintenance planner can see the change in the status. Let's create time confirmation. So for this, we click the button Record Time. The view is different than the one you know from IW41 transaction, for example. We see information like planned effort and so on. I will just enter the actual work. Let's say it's 30 minutes. I performed this job myself. I didn't have any help from other technicians. But let's say you have such scenario. In this case, you click the button Add and you can add another person. But you remember, for this work center, I'm the only one who is assigned as a personal number. Therefore, I will just delete it. Confirmation text, this will be also reflected in the backend system. Let's put just a very simple one, like a comment done. Alright. Final confirmation. Once I click it, the task after saving will disappear from my list, because it basically indicates that everything relevant for this operation, for this task, was confirmed, was done. So let's do it like this, and I click OK. And the time confirmation has been saved. From this view, we have also other cool features. We can add measurements. So for instance, working hours, if you have such measuring points, or create follow-on notification. Let's say you did the job which was planned by the planner, but at the same time you notice there is some other problem with this A compressor. So you use follow-on notification. What I will do, I will just go down and display the components, because the maintenance planner defined which plant components we should use. So let's say we use the O-ring, which you see here. If you already know SAP, there is a MyGo transaction which allows you to book goods issue against order. In IW41 transaction, which is for time confirmations, it was also possible to perform goods issue. But all these things were kind of complex and not user-friendly. Yeah? In this case, we have a really basic view, and we see what is the planned quantity, what is the quantity issued, and yeah, what we will do right now, I will click the button post, and let's say I used three O-rings because the others were okay. I click post, and immediately we see the issued quantity here. I could also return this spare parts if let's say it was an error from my side or something, yeah? All right. The same thing I will do with the A filter. So I click post, quantity to post, and the quantity has been issued. I scroll down because I want to show you other cool feature. It's called unplanned components. So imagine, and it's very common, and it's of course something that will happen in your plant and in your scenarios. As a technician, you can also add components which you used and which were not planned by the maintenance planner. Yeah. So we just click the add button, define the material, just select it from the list. We define the storage location where it's located, and we add the quantity. So again, very simple view for technician. I will now go back to the list of tasks. So we have only the second operation, the second task left. Let's do the same thing. So I select it. I click start because I started working on that. And let's say after 15 minutes, the work is done. So I click work done, and I want to confirm the time, record time. For this one, I spent, let's say, instead of 10 minutes, which was planned by the planner, 55, because I had a lot of stuff to do. I don't add confirmation text. This is basically it. I set it as a final confirmation. Okay, I click the button and the confirmation is saved. Here I don't have any components which were planned by the planner. So yeah, let's leave it as it is. Yeah, we won't use any unplanned component. If I go back now to the list of jobs for today, we got nothing. Yeah, we are, let's say, clear, and all the things from our side, from technician perspective, are now done. It's time to switch to another phase. Post-execution phase. Here, as a maintenance planner, we do almost the final checks of the work that has been performed by our people. And we control, for instance, goods issue, but also time confirmations, and basically everything around this order. For this purpose, we use the application called Find Maintenance Order. We see our fix the A compressor work order, so we go to the details, and we see all the information related to this object. We have the operations, but we also see the very first thing, actual cost. Yeah, this is the total cost of internal labor and used spare parts. Actually a bit low, but this is just a demo, so let's keep it as it is. Alright, I quickly switch to another application which is called Manage Maintenance Backlog, because you remember it already from the previous phase, which was the scheduling, right? And now we could also use this one for some details when it comes to post-execution phase. Because if we go to stock components section, here we see the planned quantity, but also the actual quantity that was used. For this example, we also had a non-stock component defined, but actually we didn't go through the PO and the next steps. We will do it in next videos, so no worries for other examples. The very last thing in this phase, I want to show you resources section. And here we have the planned work that was defined by us, by a maintenance planner, and the actual work which comes from the confirmations from our technician. Yeah. All right. Switching back quickly to maintenance order, we go back. this order is finished, yeah? So we select it and change the status with this button to complete technically. We do the checks few days later, that's why we have 25th of Feb. We also select the complete assign notifications, so they will be as automatically set to TICO, and we press the blue button. Alright, the order has been technically closed and it automatically disappeared from our list. Why? Because we have only released orders selected. This is the end of this phase. Completion phase. This is the very last step in this whole process. Again, as a maintenance planner, our goal is to the very last checks of the maintenance order. These checks can be related to confirmations, to spare parts that were consumed, to costs that were generated, and if there are some external services, we can also check the things like POs, purchase orders, and so on. So, okay, this is maintenance planner job, but in my opinion, it's also with collaboration with, for instance, with controlling department, yeah, because the goal is also to settle the order. So we can go to Find Maintenance Order app, and now we will display only technically completed orders, because this is what we did in the previous step. I press go, and I select the order Fix the A compressor. Okay, so let's say I did the additional checks of the order related to costs, to spare parts, and so on. I can now jump to this button, Related Apps, and for instance, I could run the settlement of this maintenance order. In this demo, I won't do it. And again, this is more like a thing that should be done by controlling. It depends on your organizational procedures. Let's stop here and go to the main screen. So this is it. You just saw the full end-to-end process of phase-based maintenance. We have 9 phases, cool Fiori apps, which are available only for this concept. So yeah, let's give it a try. Try it in your system. I hope you like the video. If you want to see more details about this process, take a look at the description. I put the article which I wrote on my website. So yeah, check the other socials, LinkedIn and so on. And yeah, see you in the next video.